Ba 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 ba. What up, Eric?
Oh, you beat me to it yet again, Ty.
I'm quick on the trigger, finger on the holster, hand on the
hmm
holster, hand on the 6 inch.
Dude, Ty's got his hand on a 6 inch ready to fire at all times. How are
Yeah,
you doing
dude.
today on this lovely day?
I am excellent. I have a few reasons to be happy. Let's sit around together and say thanks for the things that we're grateful for. I have my espresso in a wine glass that I'm sipping on. I
I
have
can see
I
that.
am complete I'm gonna throw away every coffee mug I own. The idea of sipping coffee out of a coffee mug is so overdone, and honestly, they're not
hmm
that great. Coffee mugs, like, the ceramic on them doesn't make the like, if you're buying, I'm blowing, like, $30 a bag right now on 4th Wave coffee beans. Like, these are some high quality roast, and then to, like, sip them out of anything that doesn't make the coffee feel special seems so twisted, you know? So now I drink all my espresso out of wine glasses because that's the way it should be
hmm
served.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about because it seems to me that wine glasses have been designed to, um, you know, accentuate the aromatic
Mhm,
qualities of whatever's in it. And
mhm.
I just know what you're drinking right now smells way better in that thin, nice glass than it does in some shitty mug that you got from the last conference you went to.
Yeah, dude, that's the oh, I don't even wanna get into mug graphics this episode. We need a whole freaking Patreon exclusive for that. But you're right that because you get so much more like infiltrates the nostrils when you sip espresso from the wine glass. So you really get the notes of orange peel and cacao powder or whatever other
Yeah.
bullshit they put in it.
All of the shit that Big Bean has made up in order to justify charging you, $40 for a bag. Because we both
Hmm.
know that you ain't tasting no orange, bro. That's coffee. That's coffee flavor. It's not orange flavor. What kind of dumb shit is that?
Yeah. It's really incredible. The mind can make up anything. Hey, if you tell it what the mind what to believe, it explains a lot
hmm
how manipulated we
hmm
are by by capitalism, really.
Dude, the late stage capitalism is a reoccurring topic on this podcast, and
Hmm.
I think everyone's like alarm bells should be ringing as loud as ours because,
Mm.
um, you know, if you were to just sip the coffee and not read the packaging, I would bet you all my Bitcoin that you would not be able to tell me that there's orange peel in there.
Oh, I am notoriously bad at extracting the flavor profile from anything. I don't know if it's
hmm
like years of sweet onion sauce has torched the palate, like the taste buds, or what, but
hmm
like no, the only notes that I understand in any food are the ones that are quietly told to me by my server as they hand me the plate.
Yeah, if it's not written in the fine print of my matchstick bean,
Mm-hmm.
then there's a good chance that I will never notice. And I think
Mm-hmm.
I already go for the cheapest coffee they have, which is like their basic espresso one. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any notes on that. I think it's just they were like, this is our economy class of bean, and therefore you don't get to have the notes. You gotta
Yeah,
write
like
your own
honestly,
notes. This isn't an
pe-
open book test.
yeah, people who are buying our entry bean, our gateway bean, they're like
Yeah,
we did our market research. They can't read anyways.
exactly. They're not the ones who are they go here because it's close, and they're
Hmm.
not, going here because they want to taste the fudge brownie note, top note.
Hmm.
It's like, get the
Yeah,
fuck out of here, bro. Like if you
these
notice
are
this
not
kind of shit,
scholars. Hmm.
yeah. Like
Dude,
granted, different coffee tastes different, right? But like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, that one wasn't enough brownie for me. Not to my taste, sorry.
totally. I mean, like I am convinced, Eric, that there's like a huge overlap in the Venn diagram of guys that appreciate coffee a little too much and guys that don't have sex. Like you only have time for one thing here, and unfortunately, a lot of guys take the bean path,
hmm
and so that's why I am proud to
And it's the
say that
wrong bean.
it's the wrong bean. Yeah, their tongues flicking the wrong bean here. So that's
Exactly.
why I'm proud to tell you that I got no top, mid, or bottom notes happening with this espresso, despite its cost. Putting this in the wine glass is almost exclusively to social signal that I have a better bean than you. Because, like,
Hmm.
you'd have to be ludicrous to put Folgers in this wine
Luda.
glass right now. Luda, like for
Exactly.
real though, like that would you. Why would you want to torch your nostrils like that? That Folgers is like that's
Yeah.
like talk. That's a war crime. Like the Geneva Convention bans such action.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like Lil Wayne said, don't ask me about what's in my cup. It's none of
Hmm.
your business.
None of your business. So I'm glad we're aligned on this, Eric. We don't agree on much.
We disagree on a lot of very important topics, but we agree on all the meaningless, stupid topics, which is, I think,
Mm,
exactly why we're friends.
yeah, this is our think tank. This is a yes and podcast.
This podcast is all about double clicking and triple clicking into,
Hmm.
you know, the root folder, if you will.
Yeah, you would think we are playing a massively online multiplayer game the way we're clicking around, and based
Hmm.
on the rising listenership of this podcast, it's certainly a popular one.
Hmm. when we set out to make this podcast, I didn't think our listenership would skyrocket as much as Bitcoin, but it has passed Bitcoin. We have more dollars than a single Bitcoin does, which is great. So, with that in mind, should we start the podcast?
I, have we not already? Is this
Can we?
just the
Should we just
interlude?
hit record right now?
Yeah, we should hit record. I don't know what you're talking about, but uh,
No,
I want. Wait, he just like said, "Hit, let's hit record," and then he walked out of the room on the Zoom chat.
I had to.
You're-
I had to flick the on-air neon sign to reflect my current
I
status.
see. Yeah, you want to make sure that the red light's on. We're in the booth. Recording is happening. No one interrupt.
Mm,
Not even the DoorDash drivers allowed in here.
exactly, Ty. The red light district is open for business.
Mhm.
Um, but Ty, I wanted to bring to your attention this story that came across my timeline that made me laugh and cringe at the same time. And obviously, it has to do with food and
Mhm.
rappers.
Mhm.
Um, and so, naturally, a perfect topic for this podcast.
Mhm.
But it looks like Pusha T, um,
Pusha.
Big Push, King Push himself, wrote a nice little diss track in collaboration with Arby's. Have you heard
So
of
Pusha.
this?
I've heard like rumors, musings, if you will, that Pusha was working with the Arbs. Um, what did Pusha write for Arby's?
Well, he made a song called "Spicy Fish Diss," and this, I feel personally attacked Ty because he's going after the filet o fish in particular, which is my favorite of the McDonald's burgers.
Hmm. Nothing like a fillet of fish to calm the gut after a night of drinking a few too many heady IPAs at the craft brewery. The fillet of fish just it's at home in there. It swims around in the gut. It return
Absolutely,
the fish to nature, and it just kind of calms you down.
absolutely. It is my go-to after a night out. I do love to hit the surf and turf. A
Mm-hmm.
little bit of fish, a little bit of chicken nuggets. It's good
Mm,
for the soul. Um,
mm-hmm.
but I just want to read you some lyrics. Is that cool with you, Ty? I just want to tell you exactly what King Push has to say about McDonald's, brought to you by
Yeah.
Arby's.
So you
Um,
can read. Okay.
I can read. I do read, but I choose not to usually. Um, so the first two bars here say, "I'm the reason the whole world love it. Now I gotta crush it. Filet o fish is bleep, and you should be disgusted."
Wow. Thank you for that slam poem, Eric.
Dude, so Push says that the filet of fish is blank. Don't know what word he used.
Mm-hmm.
There's four. I'm reading the lyrics off genius.com. Have you heard of that website?
I'm familiar with genius.com.
They put 4 asterisks, so I'm guessing he was saying that it's shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is my guess.
It could have been good. Could have wrote good, and
He could have wrote good.
then the marketing manager stepped in and changed the narrative.
Yeah, let me just censor this, and let me censor you, King Push. I will not stand for this erasure tie as a filet-o-fish lover. Um, and then he says, "How
Mm.
dare you sell a square fish, asking us to trust it? A half slice of cheese, Mickey D's on a budget?
Wow. Honestly, he's making
Wow,
some good, strong points. Like,
these are these are
this is a
hard-hitting
solid
points."
thesis.
Yeah, I don't think Big Ronald was ready for this level of critique. Um,
No.
but I'd love to. I think we need to see a response very soon. The clock is ticking for Ron Don.
Yeah, where's the PR team? Like, are they going to relink with Ye to formulate a response? Are they going to take this respectfully, laugh it off, or are they going to get defensive? I feel like McDonald's would get defensive here.
Mm-hmm. I
Remember
think
back in
so.
the day the whole nuggets scandal, like the chicken isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
They
this
have
is a
a whole
like
documentary about that.
yeah, this is a common theme with fast food restaurants. Hey, questions about the chicken,
Yeah,
but yeah, I feel like they will take this very seriously.
yeah. I mean, they could do that, or they could just ignore it. Because I think as soon as you acknowledge it, then you've already lost.
Right.
But that's when the song already we're peaking. Okay, the song is not bad, and this is I think when the marketing manager stepped in and said we gotta include some fluff points here for Arby's.
Mm-hmm. The
Um,
hook.
yeah, we gotta write the hook. We gotta pat ourselves on the back and like
Mm-hmm.
baby powder our nuts a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's what happens. It says Arby's crispy fish is simply it. With lines around the corner, we might need a
Dude, so their selling features, they square. That's all he's
their
got
some
on them?
feature is that you gotta wait an hour to get it.
Oh, I thought it was both. I thought it was a double entendre, as the rappers say. Both a popular meal, but also alluding to the shape, as he in a previous bar dissed the shape of the
Hmm.
like the parking lot shaped filet o fish.
Yeah, there's no way a fish can be square, unless you're talking about SpongeBob.
Hmm.
Okay, what else we got here? Um, let's see if there's any. Oh, here's another one. Drowned in tartar, that filet-o-fish is tasteless. See, Arby's only deals in the greatness. I bet the
Mm.
house on it like it's Vegas.
Gee,
Jeez.
I don't know how I feel about that dude. He's once again, he's right. Great thesis. But like guarantee you the Arby's fish is dry as shit.
Yeah,
You're gonna want some tartar with that, baby. Like sauce is
yeah.
everything. That's if there's one thing the bread has taken away from Think Fresh podcast is that the sauce is the only thing that matters.
Hmm. You're absolutely right. The sauce is the whole point, as we know about Subway. Like, you can make the worst, most torched sandwich in the world, but
Mhm.
you add that sweet combo of sweet onion and Southwest, you're cruising, buddy.
Yeah, so that puts a lot of pressure on that pimple faced teenage line chef at the back of Arby's to deliver on this fish sandwich. Otherwise, like the food critics are going to be coming for him. You know.
Hmm. Yeah, we don't go to Arby's because we trust the staff, much like Subway. But at least in Subway's case, I have full creative control. Um, but Ty, there's
Hmm.
one to read to you because it made me laugh, and it was the perfect like closing argument.
All right.
Um, the crispy fish sandwich blazing trails, them other clowns just too frail. Yuck! If you know me and you know me well, our fish is gonna tip that scale.
Wow.
Wow.
Dude, this went from diss track to jingle real fast.
I know it started off so strong, but I think they
Hmm.
ended it really well with the signature Pusha T. Yuck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel when I eat either fish sandwich.
Yeah, I think they're leaning into that exact thing. Um,
Hmm.
with, calling Ronald McDonald a clown, literally. I think that's quite poetic.
That is clever. That actually went over my head on first pass, but I'll play this back a few times. I'm sure there's a TikTok dance for it.
Hmm. And then the
Wow.
outro, Ty, it says, "This is a paid advertisement brought to you by the unrivaled, the unparalleled Arby's."
Whew.
So Arby's is, they're claiming their set. You know what I'm saying? They're like, this is our
Mm.
block. We don't fuck with them red and yellow bitches over there on the
Hmm.
other side.
Yeah. I didn't realize Arby was so assertive. They're really asserting themselves. It's kind of exciting.
I mean, we
I
always knew it
feel.
was a man's man sandwich, like
Hmm.
it's the kind of restaurant to be directly attached to like a Home Depot, whereas
Hmm.
McDonald's is like more of a Lowe's kind of place.
Hmm. McDonald's is an everyman's joint. Arby's is for like
Exactly,
the real meatheads.
exactly.
I'm curious though, Eric. Do you think this is, pardon the pun, but like manufactured beef, or do you think Arby's is like coming out of left field with this? They put a hit out on McDonald's here.
I mean, what's the difference? They're
I
pointing their gun at Big Ronald and saying, "Fucking put him up." You know what I mean? Like he's shoot, and he
for all,
shot.
like, yeah, I guess so. But like for all we know, Ronald's is CMO is in bed with Arby's as marketing coordinator, and they are making a baby, which is this manufactured drama.
Mm,
For all we know, McDonald's already has they like pre-prepared their reply here.
I mean, if they did, I would expect it to come out already. It's been
Mhm.
4 days, Ty. That's in in rap in the rap world. That's an eternity. That's a whole lifetime.
Yeah,
To not
people.
reply.
We lost two rappers probably in the last 4 days. Like two members of the ASAP
Exactly,
mob are like probably got nicked.
exactly, dude. Who knows what kind of shootings are happening behind the scenes here?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, McDonald's is the biggest murderer on the block. They murder billions of chickens per year.
Hmm.
So I mean, I would watch out if I was Arby's. I would be careful. Do you think Arby's is going to hit him with a back to back, a la Drake?
Wow, I think so. This is the challenge with like uh bringing Pusha on as your spokesperson, because all Pusha is capable of doing, and I feel kind of bad for the guy because he's like forever just the ghostwriter. All he does is like
Ooh.
he's got this like maniac like intent to like create drama everywhere he goes. He's like, my album's gonna be the greatest album of the year, or he's like,
Hmm.
Drake's got a hidden child, or like McDonald's is shit, or whatever. I wrote blah 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 blah
Hmm.
blah, and I didn't get credited. He like is constantly like, I like, here's Lana Del Rey doing cocaine. I have a photo of it. Um, he's constantly like just trying to like stir up drama, but none of it seems to like actually resonate with like the cultural zeitgeist. Or if it does, the
Hmm.
thing the thing he manifested resonates, but he gets somehow like he falls off the story. He gets detached. And then
Hmm.
like he's no longer in the cultural narrative. So I feel bad for Pusha. He's like the ghostwriter of culture.
Hmm. Well, I think you could like call Pusha T kind of like the ghost of Kiev because he
Hmm.
just like murders other rappers and then disappears. Like we don't know like where he is. Like we don't know what he's doing. Like
Hmm.
he announced Drake's child, and then now the story's about Drake's child, and like no one cares that like Pusha was the only person to like make Drake lose out of like beef. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. He just falls off the story. It's kind of
Hmm.
weird. It's like he's like the black olive to the sandwich. It just
Got
falls
that.
on the ground and you forgot you ever had it.
Yeah, exactly. But do you think he actually wrote the jingle to Big McDonald's?
So this is the rumor. Rumor has it that Pusha was responsible for the Ba 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 jingle, and he was never uh, rewarded for that by McDonald's. There's been no royalty, no credit, no, not even a bouquet of
Hmm.
flowers,
Hmm.
no
And
no
just a quick
coupons.
no bouquet exactly. No so a quick Google search is telling me that you know the reason for this Arby's diss against McDonald's is because that they put or they didn't pay him appropriately. So I'm guessing you know Pusha T like many other rappers is stuck in a bad deal from the label where they don't get paid royalties. They get paid like a one-time fee. And when was this even created? Because, if McDonald's was like popping back in the day when Push wrote this, then obviously, you got paid well. Um, but who knows?
I choose to believe, Eric. I choose to believe, and I want to because I've seen enough murder documentaries on Netflix to know that there is an intention. There is a like Pusha has a weapon, his voice and his talent.
Mhm,
So we've triangulated already enough information from that alone to
mhm.
make a accusation. I think like I'm winning clue today, baby.
Um, okay, Ty, I'm uncovering more information live here. So it looks like, Push is admitting that he signed a bad contract. Um,
Hmm.
so he says here he did it at a very young age, at a young time in his career where he wasn't asking for as much money and ownership. And he said that it's always been something that's bothered him his whole life. Like, damn, I should have got more for this, like because I was a part of it. Do
Hmm.
you feel bad for the guy? He signed the contract. He made the sandwich. Like, can you really like
My
can
brother
you
in
really
Christ, you made the jingle.
my brother in Christ, you fucked up. Like, can you really feel bad for a guy who like signed the contract?
Yeah, I kind of can because like I think it's a common trope of the artist, the starving artist, to not know their worth. Look at every artist behind the line at the way, Eric. Do you think they know the value that they've created for me? I am sure they have not been paid appropriately for how much joy, how full I felt.
Hmm. But you're not paying for that joy. You're paying
You're
$10 a
right.
month on Spotify. Would you like to pay 20? Is my question.
So you think, should I pay more money on Spotify so that Pusha gets his fair share?
Yeah, that's exactly my question.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's other people that are in a better financial position to support Pusha. Perhaps he should consider a GoFundMe. He has a
Mm,
compelling narrative. I think people would empathize.
hmm. Hmm. What's the charity that McDonald's does?
The
Like
Ronald
Ron?
House for the Unfortunate.
Yeah, you're right. It's Ronald McDonald House Charities. Um, Maybe, Push could be an ambassador of that as their number one beneficiary.
Yeah, there you go. That would be a beautiful story.
That would be. I think Pusha should, you know, like, why doesn't McDonald's just say, like, you know what, you're right, we fucked up. Let's adopt you, and you can be this our spokesperson, and we'll, start now. We'll start now. We'll start paying you
For
now.
sure. I want to live in that world, Eric. I want to live in a world where Pusha T is a dependent of Ronald McDonald.
Absolutely,
That's the most late stage capitalist thing that could happen.
absolutely, Ty. Um, Known drug dealer Pusha T, self-proclaimed drug dealer Pusha T is no longer moving white, but is moving tartar sauce.
Yeah, baby.
If
There's that
anything, and this shit is
white
making me
meat,
hungry.
white
Exactly.
meat in the nugs.
Absolutely. Oh, well, that's about it for that story. I'm glad you could listen to my genius breakdown.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Eric. You are always got your finger on the pulse of what's what in the
Hmm.
world of these of rapdom.
Absolutely. What do you think will have a longer shelf life, Ty? This beef or Pusha T?
Well, I have a hypothesis that this beef is genetically modified, so I think it will stick around longer than Push's role.
As long as it sticks
Push's
around
only
longer than
mortal.
exactly. As long as it sticks around longer than the song Pushin' P,
Hmm.
then I think we have a real winner for Arby's. They
Hmm.
deserve a win in
Yeah.
Q2.
You see Gunna's little pea tooth? He got a little pea on his tooth now. He got pea in his mouth. Bro, the dude's got to let it go. It's like it's come and gone. But
It's come
he's
and
still
gone.
pushing P, and everyone else is ready to move on.
Yeah, I know. That's an example of something blowing up too quickly, um, and becoming deeply uncool before, we even had a chance to use it in a caption.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like it was barely in my recently used emoji list before I realized I had to abandon it. It was
I
in and it
know.
was out.
We had a good run where you could react to a Zoom meeting with the P logo. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that lasted for about a week.
Hmm.
And, since then we've tossed it in the bin because it's been growing mold, much like, the foot long that's been sitting in my fridge for a week.
Well, I'm excited, Eric, for a few months from now when just like the second wave of Bitcoin, P comes back in more of an ironic fashion and a nostalgic fashion, and then we can reclaim that concept and apply it to like after people
hmm
forgot, I think it'll be fresh
hmm
again.
My worry though is that we will reappropriate P as an irony play, but Facebook moms will already be wise to that and they'll know what we're talking about. People
Mm,
knowing what we're talking about makes it uncool.
that's dangerous.
It is.
Well, I want to talk to you about something, Eric, that I don't think anyone's ever heard of.
Wow. Okay, great. I'm excited.
Segues are weird. Okay, so last night I had like a Michelada in me, not feeling super like ready to cook some dinner. So I like swung by just like a regular everyday grocery store. Okay, and I picked up
Normie.
a frozen pie. Yes, I'm a normie
Oh.
grocer. I beeline it to the frozen pie section. I tell myself like it's a frozen pizza kind of night, and I have this strategy, Eric. You see, I figured out the way to elevate the frozen pizza. I purchased
This
it.
is a topic I'm passionate about. Please
Yes,
continue.
yes. So I don't know if I brought this up on the pod before, but what I started doing is when you purchase a frozen pizza, bring home a little container of arugula, a little bit of rocket, and then when you're done cooking it, sprinkle that onto the pie, and
Oh
then
yeah.
drizzle it in olive oil, and you have something that isn't too far away from like your lower tier uh, Naples style pizzeria place.
Absolutely. You got
Hmm.
me hard as a rocket right now, Ty. Um,
Oh yeah.
I love to sprinkle my pie with a little bit of rocket and
Hmm.
oleo. I'm no stranger to that concept. I also sometimes will shave some extra parm or even sprinkle a
Mm,
few chili flakes on top as well.
the Parmigiano Reggiano move is also an elevation technique, but I always was like a just dip the pizza in like some barbecue sauce and call it a day guy. But now that I have this new philosophy on frozen pizza, I am able to. I would serve this to my in-laws. I'm proud of what I've created. It's it's transcended frozen food.
hmm I think frozen food has to be elevated. You need to do something in order to make it feel a little bit better. Like, I think I might have mentioned this on the pod, so apologies, breadheads. But I do love to create a nice little pot of craft dinner and
Hmm.
sprinkle a little bit of truffle oil that I purchased
Woo!
from my last trip in Europe. It's crazy. Like that combo right there, like goes hard
Hmm.
as a motherfucker, bro, and it's so good.
Yeah, dude. What a nice highbrow, lowbrow combination. I think that's what we're
hmm
looking for here at Think Fresh Podcast. Um,
hmm
Believe it or not, the arugula is not why I brought this up. So last night, I'm in the frozen aisle.
What?
It's just not the frozen aisle is the craziest part of the grocery store because it's just all doors. You're just surrounded by doors. And you don't get that
hmm
very often in any store unless you're at like a
Yeah,
door store.
yeah, dude. It's like makes it obvious that there are more doors than wheels in the world.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's an innuendo or what, but you're right. It sure does. uh, and so the smart people at Delicio, they have yet
The
again,
good people at a friend of the pod, Delicio.
yeah, they they have yet again innovated in the world of pizza, Eric. What they had presented to me in the see-through door was the Delicio croissant crust pizza.
Oh
I'm just
my
gonna
God.
Hold there for a second. No,
Holy
no,
shit.
let me repeat myself. Croissant crust pizza. So obviously, I had to cop one and bring it home to try. And oh, I have some feedback notes for you, Eric.
Oh, wow. Is the whole okay? I have so many questions.
Hmm.
One is the croissant crust, is it just the outer rim that is croissant, or is it the entire thing, the whole bottom layer?
Cool. Great question. So we've talked about this gripe with pizza where the pizza they show a picture of the pizza in a box rather than just showing you a picture, like just show me the pizza, right? Which
It
I
should
would
just be
tip
a bag.
it should just be the bag, yeah. Um, the picture showed the crust and like a architectural rendering almost of the crust, like
A
what
cross
do they
section?
call it? A cross section, a crust section, if you will. And you could see this layering happening. It was flaky and it looked almost like the surface of the Earth's crust, but not unlike the like what you would expect a croissant. So I
Hmm.
expected it to only be the crust, but pop that baby out of the oven, first bite in. Sure enough, even at the thinnest point of the pizza, there's a couple layers in there.
Wow.
Yeah,
That sounds
wow is
amazing.
right. I'm not gonna lie here. It was like going to another planet with frozen pizza. It was so fucking good.
It's literally France and Italy, like linking and building in like the year
Hmm.
2050. Like that's what that
Yeah,
feels like to me.
this is the
Wow.
collab album we're looking for. So a few
Hmm.
other notes about this, Eric, that I think will really get you going. Uh, Very light. When I picked up the pizza, it was lighter than air. I didn't realize the density of the crust is what like makes pizza heavy. Not here. This bad boy just like floats away. It like it almost I had to catch it out of the air. It almost got away from me.
Hmm. Wow, it's like you're eating in zero gravity or something.
Hmm.
This is like truly inspiring, Ty. I think I'm gonna have to stop by a normie grocery store, and pick one up for myself. This is making me realize that like just Whole Foods in general is like so much more overrated than I initially thought, because they
Hmm.
would never like sell this in their freezer section. Like they have like a keto pizza, which I had once, and it was like almost turned me off of pizza entirely. It pissed me off so much. I had
Hmm.
a meltdown, honestly. And I'm not just talking
Yeah.
about the cheese.
And I don't recommend dabbling in the cauliflower crust or anything. Like it's all the
Bullshit.
experimentation, and this is the challenge
Just
with
eat
all these
cauliflower.
lip. Just eat the fucking cauliflower.
Yeah, why are we
Um,
making it into a crust?
yeah, cauliflower. Just because cauliflower can be anything doesn't mean it should be anything.
Exactly. Not
Now,
doing something is just as important as doing something. Rick
facts.
Rubin.
And yeah, thank you, friend of the pod, Rick. And take that philosophy to your next Subway visit when you're thinking about vegetable pairings.
Wow, not choosing a vegetable is just as impactful as putting that slimy little cucumber down.
It's so true. It's
Wow.
like James Blake's music, it's not just about the notes, it's about the space between the notes.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Uh,
Wow, I'm gonna be copying one for myself, Ty. That sounds
yeah.
amazing.
The problem with Eric with liberal grocery stores is that they're preoccupied. They put too much energy into making food seem like healthier, right? They're like, this
Yeah.
is there's no gluten in this, or it's genetically modified.
Hmm.
No, not genetically modified. Whereas like Delicio, those smart guys at Delicio, I'm assuming they're all men there. I don't know why women would want to work at Big Pizza. It's super greasy. It's definitely a boys' club, guarantee it. Uh,
Hmm.
those guys, they're like not
Sometimes it's
concerned
just
with
better
that.
that way.
Hmm. Wait, what am I agreeing to?
Wait, what?
uh, what? uh, like they don't have those distractions. They're not focused on being healthy whatsoever. And I'm telling you, this pizza was buttery as hell. Like this is a fat boy pizza.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
like when you
Wow.
are free of the shackles of liberalist dogma, you can make any pizza you want.
Wow, you're so right. This is literally the like grown-up version of the cheeseburger pizza we saw back in the day.
Hmm. It really is. And I felt like an adult eating it because nothing is more socially acceptable in for like a late 20 something than to eat a croissant. It's
Absolutely, yeah.
perfectly acceptable in all groups of people, all scenarios. There's no bad
Hmm.
time to eat a croissant.
So, when I picture this pizza, I'm picturing like the best croissant I've ever had, morphed into a pizza form. But can you be honest with me and tell me, like, if you were to compare it us to any croissant you've had, what are we
Hmm.
rating it? Like, is it like a, Kirkland branded Costco, or is it a, you know, fourth wave coffee shop croissant?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, it certainly like makes frozen pizza crust better. It's a few cuts above your typical pizza crust. It's definitely not like a proper like Italian restaurant pizza crust. Like you're not gonna snip this thing with scissors, but you're not gonna dip it either. So it's somewhere in between. It's mids. But I would think of it more, I would frame it more as a pizza crust that has a frozen pizza crust that has become a croissant. It is not a croissant that became a pizza crust, and it's not a regular
Mm,
pizza that became a croissant. It's a frozen pizza that became a croissant.
end quote.
End quote.
Full stop.
But
Wow.
it's so brilliant. I don't know why Subway doesn't do this, Eric. Like they could
Yeah, they should make
easily
croissant
fold this in.
sandwiches.
Fuck, why are they making croissant sandwiches?
Yeah. Cut the salami bullshit out. Let's make some croissants. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I actually did that the other day. I finished a run and I finished my run right outside of a fourth wave coffee shop, which
Mm-hmm.
happens more often than not. And
Mm-hmm.
I said, fuck it, I'm hungry and I earned a nice little twisted treat for myself. So let me just go ahead and walk in here, grab a croissant and go home, slice that bitch in half and make a nice little egg croissant sandwich. And that was
Wow.
just beautiful, let me tell you. Croissant sandwiches are just like greasier than a burger. Like it's like unbelievably good.
Yeah, bro. It's heaven on earth. And I'm not talking about Mark Jacobs. I feel like it should be on the menu, but I don't think Subway needs to do like a classic croissant sandwich like what you probably brought home from your fourth wave shop. I
Mhm.
think they could do they could take a page from Delicio's books and fold the bread in a way that is reminiscent of a croissant. I think I'd like that more because then I can still get the 12 inches that my stomach is expecting. Stomach's hungry.
Exactly. Exactly. I wanted the kind of bread where like you put like a drop of water on it and it's like immediately dissolves. Like I want
Mm-hmm.
that kind of bread so that when it hits my stomach, it's just like evaporates and I'm like immediately ready to, run a marathon afterwards.
Mm-hmm. It would be so good. I would order. I think you could compete with the herbs and cheese.
Yeah, 100%. Imagine a herbs and cheese croissant.
Oh, I just got shivers, Eric, when you said that.
hmm
Chills, baby.
It's up there. It could compete with everything bagel tie.
Yeah, like we are talking about like the cream of the crop here.
hmm This is like everything bagel levels of innovation right here. Like the
Mm.
world needs this.
I've genuinely been never been more passionate about something that Subway should offer, and we've come up with a lot of good ideas. This is the only one I
hmm
really want.
This is all I want.
But then it got me. It's like, well, Delicios dabbled in many a crust form before. They had some cheese stuffed crust. Like they put like the marinara sauce in the crust once, and like it made me realize like Subway should do that too. Like the bread only is bread, but it could be so much more than bread. If the sauce was like infused in the bread, then I think it
Oh,
would increase the half life of the footlong.
I love this. Like we've seen them experiment before with like bread toppings, but that doesn't work because I still gotta grip this thing, right? And if my
Mm-hmm.
fingers are like in the cheese or like in the sauce that's on top, like that doesn't work at all. Like I gotta wash my hands 3 times as much. But if I can
Mm-hmm.
just like somehow, stuff my loaf, like if I could have like just like a cheese string, like a main artery just running through my bread,
Mm-hmm.
then I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, you're obviously hinting at the ergonomic benefits of this, but also there's a user experience that would be quite delightful. Yeah,
hmm
you ever bite a jelly donut, Eric?
And it squirts
Surely
out the
you've
other end.
dabbled. Yeah, you get a squirter, but like it's so much fun to like stick your tongue in there and try to find the jelly. You know, it's
hmm
an interactive experience.
Absolutely, sure is. Um, on that note, Ty, I think we should close this one out on that bombshell.
Oh, you got places to be?
Eat.
You got places to eat? Well, that's fine, Eric. I I'll just save all my other topics for next week.
What do you got for me, Ty? Let's hear it. Anything you want to resurrect this podcast with?
No, I mean,
All right.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about my Aesop X Rick Owens candle that's sitting in front of me. But I would like
Oh,
first, and then we could
ah,
discuss together.
I mean, I mine should be arriving today. Crooked FedEx is saying that it is arriving today, and it is on a vehicle um, on the way to me. But alas, no, my buzzer did not ring yet. So I'm guessing that it's in transit still. So we'll have to talk about it on
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, Ty. Why don't you light it up this weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
I will do the same. And we're gonna compare it on Monday. We're gonna compare our experiences on Monday. Or on
Mm-hmm. That's
Tuesday, whenever this next episode
yeah,
comes out.
fantastic idea, Eric. Brilliant.
Go ahead and enjoy, the smell of Rick Owens, uh, lighting a cigar on your couch.
I am so excited to share my thoughts with you about this candle. Wow, that sounded like
So,
a Tim Cook keynote.
and one last thing. Okay, buddy, have a great weekend, and I'll catch up with you on Tuesday.
You too, King. Thanks for listening, Breadheads. Have a great weekend. Think fresh.
Ciao.